Have you ever had that feeling where you're so engrossed in your work and somehow you effortlessly make a significant progress? That's what we call a flow state, and it's not that often that we are able to experience it. But what if I tell you that there are methods to access flow state on demand? So, what exactly happens when you enter flow state? It's like stepping into a zone where you are completely absorbed in one task. Often you start losing track of time and external distractions are just invisible to you. All of that happens because of a few neurochemical changes in our brains. But before I tell you more, let's go on a ride. According to Stephen Kotler, you experience the surge of norepinephrine, dopamine, amygdala, serotonin, and endorphins, creating a perfect combination that boosts your motivation, focus, and learning. And probably I didn't pronounce any of those names right. So, during flow state, you enter a state of effortless attention to the task at hand. As a result, this can be an energizing experience. Interestingly, you may not even realize that you are in the flow state. In my case, I realized that I was in flow state only when I came back from it. And now the question is, how do we achieve this? But before we discuss further, let me take you somewhere else. It's a little bit windy, but damn, just look at this view. Right here is way too windy. Let's go and find another spot to film. Damn, that is amazing. This is on my bucket list for quite some time now. One day I need to go and do a paragliding. Nice. I found a place without wind, but it's raining. So let's make this quick. Okay, so in figuring out how can we access flow state on demand, we first need to understand how all of this even happens in the first place. So to be able to fall into a flow state, you need to do something you love, because while you're doing something you love, there is a large amount of dopamine released into your body. For example, you probably never fall into a flow state when you were a child and you were doing homework, but you did fall into a flow state when you were building Legos. If you want to fall into a flow state while doing something you're forced to do, it's just not gonna happen because your mind will constantly be connected to something else. The second thing is you need to work on your task for 20 to 30 minutes without any distractions to allow your body to produce enough neurochemicals to make the transition to a flow state. And now the third thing is that you cannot force it. If you will work on your task and you will constantly think that you need to fall into a flow state, it's just not gonna happen because your mind will be focused on two things, not one. The one will be the task that you need to do, and the second thing will be the thought of the flow state. Now that is all easy to say, but you are here to find out how can you fall into the flow state on demand. But before that, let me take you somewhere else. Damn. Just look at his view. Damn. These kind of views are not just amazing, they're breathtaking. Damn, I just love where I live. So, there are ways to fall into a flow state on demand, but before you do any of them, you first need to set up a few things. So, grab a pen and paper and let's go. First things first, you need to reduce all distractions. Try to be able to access only the things you need to complete that task. So, tidy up your workspace so you don't have any distractions around you, and put your phone on airplane mode and put it out of the way so it does not get you out of the flow. The second thing is that you write down a clear goal of the day. You do this so you are not thinking about what you need to do, but you are only thinking about what you are doing. And with that, you're also not multitasking, which can also get you out of the flow. And now the last thing is what we already went through. You need to be prepared to work from 20 to 30 minutes outside of the flow focus, because your brain needs to recognize that it's time to switch into the flow state. Okay, you're all set up, and now you need something that will help you get into the flow focus on demand. And that is one thing, and that is a good dopamine. You might ask, what is good or bad dopamine? Me personally separate good from the bad dopamine. Good dopamine is like a cold shower, bike ride, or any kind of sports. On the other side, the bad dopamine is like watching porn, watching social media, drinking, etc. And that dopamine is short and overboosted. However, let's get back to the point. So, if you increase your good dopamine, the transition from normal state to flow state will be easier and smoother, because we know that dopamine is crucial to fall into the flow state. Now, here are some things that you can do to increase your good dopamine and fall into flow state on demand. First thing is try taking a cold shower, because taking a cold shower has a large impact on your dopamine system. After taking a cold shower, your dopamine levels stay at around 200% for around 4 hours. So that will help you fall into the flow state a lot quicker. The second thing, you can try meditating. You can also go and walk in nature or any kind of other peaceful sports. For me, it helps me a lot to go and do these kind of sports without music. It helps me fall into flow state a lot quicker. You can also try to work right after you wake up. I heard that if you try working on your task in the first 5 to 10 minutes of waking up, there is a lot bigger chance to fall into the flow state. But I tried that a lot of times. For me, it just does not work. I need to do some kind of stretching, meditating, peaceful sports, or any other activities before I start working. But I prefer you try working right after you wake up, because you don't know how your body will react to certain things. And when you are in the flow state and you're having some doubts or you're not comfortable working, try and do something relaxing like meditating, going for a walk, something that relaxes you. With that, you will reset your brains and you will be able to work flawlessly. So, in our pursuit of the flow state, a space in our minds where time fades away and works with like a breeze, we figured out how to make it happen intentionally. First, set up a good workspace, clear goals, and do the things that you love and you're passionate about. Try working right after you wake up or after a good dopamine activity. With that, you will make a transition smoother and faster. And also remember that you need to work for at least 20 minutes to be able to fall into a flow state. All of this, it's not just about methods, it's about finding yourself at work. The flow state, it's not just the way to work, it's a mix of passion, focus, and feeling good. So, jump into the journey, find your groove, and let the flow shape your productive and creative side. Thank you for sticking to the end, and see you next time.